first, this is a summary, and two, the bigger picture will probably be in the report. So we'd like to start off this debriefing with 4 key messages that we kind of try to capture the sense of our discussions from yesterday. The first is quite inspirational, I think, and it paints an accurate picture of what fishing, small-scale fisheries really is. Small-scale fisheries is not about just fishing. It is about placemaking, where identities are carved by an intimate relationship with nature. Small-scale fisheries, then, are places where entire families are involved in the activity, where women have a key role to play, and intergenerational ties are crucial for their survival. It's an intimate relationship with nature that cannot be broken. And when it is broken, as we unfortunately heard yesterday as well, it almost always implies in some degree of violence. In order to prevent these dramatic scenarios where these relationships between nature and human beings are broken in the small-scale fisheries context, transdisciplinarity or transdisciplinary teams need to foresee an active participation of the fisher community along the program policy formulation cycle as a fundamental element of long-term small-scale fishing sustainability. And that means not only along the entire, all the stages of the implementation process, it goes way deeper, all the way back to agenda setting, the implementation, and community-based monitoring and evaluation. The third message is that land use, or land use planning, is just as important to small-scale fishery sustainability as deploying protected areas, for example, or management of fishing resources. Now, this is particularly true for indigenous and other traditional communities, which are often displaced by quite aggressive, profit-driven development projects. And we've heard that many times yesterday as well, in terms of the oil and gas sector, urban sprawl, aggressive tourism projects, and so on. Now, the negative impact of irresponsible industrial fisheries on small-scale fisheries are profound. Just one incident can wipe out an entire sector for years, as we heard in the case of Alaska. The good news, just before, don't get depressed, the good news is that these dramatic scenarios can be reversed with an incredible effort from all stakeholders. So on our path to discovering that exactly of how to revert, how to protect small-scale fisheries, how to strengthen their sustainability, the next slides will try to look at some of the challenges of that, some of the opportunities, and a small list of recommendations. Perhaps one of the biggest challenges is for the human rights approach to actually challenge the dominant development model and the narrow-minded conservation discourse. Yeah. Now we saw that we have governments that are professional treaty signees. At the same time, communities still don't have access to electricity. The second challenge, criminal activity carried out by organized crime, illegal fishing, and criminal industrial practices are ever more present in the fishing communities. And this leads to displacement, devastation, and depression. Inequalities suffered by women and youth are persistent, and they are aggravated by a number of challenges such as replacement of labor within migration, high cost of entry, lack of visibility, among many other issues. In terms of gaps or opportunities, to move forward, we saw that we need to think of innovative policies, programs, and projects that can retain the younger generations in the community. They need decent jobs in the fisheries sector, and as we also heard, beyond the fisheries sector in the community, such as tourism. New technologies, intergenerational initiatives, and tourism are all part of the solution. But as one participant said, we need to anticipate changes and not wait to react. Application of technology can have a positive impact in the community, with bycatch reduction, with the global data networks that we saw yesterday as well, community-based monitoring, and others. However, technology can not only see the fishing communities as end users, which is great, but also engage the fishing community in shaping that technology so that it can bring its benefits back to the community. Lack of interface of small-scale fisheries as a sector in broader coastal or territorial planning processes is certainly a gap which leads to long-lasting detrimental effects of sustainability. We heard during yesterday's brief that there is a gap in terms of the policy-science interface. We try to flesh out that gap by recognizing that science is a tool and not a result in itself. Traditional values need to be incorporated, and the plural nature of contextual knowledge needs to be recognized. Now, how do we do that as a transdisciplinary team? Well, policy, academia, and CSO communities need to recognize the importance of traditional knowledge and values in policy drafting and formulation. Translate that knowledge into accessible information so that the fishing community can gain ownership of the contextual knowledge to negotiate with regulators. And this last little statement leads me to my last slide in terms of, well, if the fishing community is to gain ownership and negotiate as equals with regulators, then we certainly heard a lot about Fisher's organization yesterday. When we kind of summarized all that interesting discussion about organization of the fisher communities, we organized that as a list of recommendations from fishers to fishers. So what we also heard is that when organizations are strong, they are much more effective at speaking with one voice and can build more convincing arguments against key risk factors. Fisher organizations need to fight for a seat at the decision-making table. This will be easier to achieve if their organization is representative of its various communities. Transparency and participation are quite central to that. But that also means that fish organizations must be accountable to the base. And last but not least, fish organizations need to build capacity, negotiate with regulators as equals. And that means that they need to engage in capacity building as a long-lasting process. And to inspire us, I have a little quote from yesterday's presentations. The world is currently well connected, lifestyles are changing, and people need to adapt to a changing world. We need to be innovative as we look forward towards policy, which I think is today in today's terms. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. I don't know how you did it, and Sylvia, but it was impressive as always. So people ask what we would do with these messages. We will post them on the website, and then I can send to the shout out. So anyway, you would get those messages for you to refer to. And of course, there will be a summary of the Congress as well that would also be followed later on. So we would we're now ready to invite our plenary speakers for this session. The session will be chaired by Nicole, who's been helping us, still helping us, trying to put the talk in the right place. Okay, so perhaps so that one of the speakers will be speaking in French, but the slides are in English, and then Nicole would do the summary for us. So again, as always, if you're sitting anywhere, you need support with language, just find friends. Okay, so Nicole, so let's welcome Nicole and our panelists for this morning. Caroline, Lillian, Harry, Vanuatu, and Christopher. I think I have everybody. Proper introduction be done by Nicole. Of course, Nicole, I put you kind of on this end. You'd rather sit there, that's fine. Up to you. Up to you. Sorry, just move the name a little bit. Close enough? Is this better? Okay. I try again. Good morning, everybody. Okay, we're just buying time to get the last presentation up. Okay, I think it's getting better now. Okay. Third time. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here this morning. Third day is very hard in the conference. Some workshop fatigue is probably starting to kick in, so we appreciate to see you still all here. Today we're moving into the policy day after the science and the community day. So hopefully what we're going to discuss in the plenary today and later in the afternoon sessions will be complementary to some of the discussions and presentations that you have seen over the last 2 days. Yeah. So this first plenary session this morning is called Walk the Talk in Small-Scale Fisheries Governance. We have panelists from around the world, policymakers that are here, and I really appreciate actually that we do have policymakers in this conference, because Too Big to Ignore is mostly a network of researchers, but the purpose of Too Big to Ignore is really to bring together science and policy. So it's really important to have policymakers in the room with us these days, and to make sure that science and policy really speak to each other. So we hope that today will be an opportunity to further strengthen the connection between science and policy. The session this morning, we will listen to a number of experiences in relation to the implementation of the small-scale fisheries guidelines. We will hear examples on how some of the provisions in these guidelines are operationalized, practical examples. What does it mean? The content of some of these paragraphs, or this fairly complex text, because we heard earlier that the guidelines are an internationally negotiated instrument. So some of the text is really complex. It's really difficult to understand what it actually means in practical terms. So we're going to have some examples of application, specific application of some of the sections, but we're also going to hear about process, about how to mobilize at the national level a process to work towards the implementation of the guidelines. So I'm not going to take much more time away from the presentation of our speakers, and I would like to invite our first speaker, Caroline from the Department of Fisheries here in our host country, Thailand, to start with the first presentation on the roles of governments in the implementation of small-scale fisheries guidelines in relation to the context in Thailand.
I asked correct.
Some more technical issues to sort out this morning. Please bear with us. So, good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Department of Fishery, I am the representative from the Department of Fishery. I am not the decision maker, but I still is a scientist and who we work with the fisher and fish folk many years ago. Since we have the project with the shark project, they teach me and build me to be to person. So my present is for the rule of the government, Thai government, in the implementation of the SSF guidelines. My position is, you can read, is senior expert in marine fishery from Department of Fishery, Thailand. So for the voluntary guideline for the SSF is first for the human rights and sustainable development, and also responsible fishery management. For the human rights, that is for in Thailand, we also have work on that. That if you will found our royal ordinance in 2015, that they have the right, many article that we deal with the small scale fishery and also for the worker in the fishery. So the human rights is in Thailand is also the activity that respect and protect everyone, like a fish folk, right to equality, respect for the culture, the right of the women in indigenous people, and the right to participation and to be consulted in a decision maker, and the right to transparent, accountable management. The one example in Thailand, if you heard, they have the indigenous people in the Rawai. That is, we call Morgan. The people that call the Morgan, they is the sea gypsy, one of the biggest sea gypsy. So we have they have the problem with the land use. They have the stay at there, but they never claim that they will the owner. So after that, our government go to help them. Nowadays, they is the owner of that land in the group of the sea gypsy. It's the one good example in Thailand. Regarding for I have mentioned, we have the royal ordinance on the fishery in the 2015, and they have also have amendment in the 2017. That is for the in the section 4 is the provision of the royal ordinance that they have an objective of this regulation from Thailand. The key what from this royal ordinance is protect the welfare of the seamen and the prevent of all the form and of the forced labor in the fishery sector. And we due to regarding the objective, That is one we put is protection of the specific interests of the artisanal fishery and the local fishery community. From this regard, we also have the system of the system to be is like the Department of Fishery order in the guideline for the registration of the local fisher organization in 2016. That one example. And also for Royal Ordinance, we also distinguish the artisanal fishery. That is the mean of the fishing. Artisanal fishery is the mean fishing operation in the coastal sea, which are fishing village is used, or in the which are fishing gears is used without a fishing vessel. But in any case, does not include the commercial fishing. But is largely for the commercial fishing. Only the fishermen, they have the use the fishing vessel is bigger than 10 GT. That is largely. And also we have the system to register all of the fisher in Thailand that I will mention later. So, and also from this, we have the fisher and follow the Royal Ordinance. We also establish the Provincial Fishery Committee. In that one of the committee should be representative from the fisher group that I have mentioned in the previous slide. So that is that group will be representative from the fisher. Most of them is from the small scale fisher. They will establish the group. That is representative from them will be is the committee in that group. The duty of this committee, they can work many. Follow is they also have the chair of this committee in Thailand is the governor. So if the governor will, from this committee, they also have the decision to prepare their own regulation as well. Follow our section in the Royal Ordinance is 71 that is Thailand they have worked on. And also we have the system to register all the Thai fisher. So first phase they have started already is in the 15th October 2018. And for all of the first phase is initiated, like a pilot phase is along the 22 coastal provinces. And the second phase will be start in the February 2019. So that the fisher in Thailand, not only the fisher that they work on the marine or coastal, also they included inland fishery as well. So regarding for the women and gender equality and for the activity that Thailand have worked on, we also have the gender issue have been placed on the agenda on the department policy we have already, and we also established on the gender focal point office. And also have the budget of the project implementation on the gender promotion in the fishery section have been allocated. They also have many activities that deal and have implemented with the gender and equality. So like if we have some training, we will add some activity that we will say with the gender and equality. So that is activity with the gender in Thailand. For the responsible fishery management, so after we have the reform our marine fishery in Thailand, since 2015, we have the one we call the Fishery Management Plan of Thailand. We start that fishery management plan that will be improved for the status of the marine, especially for the marine fishery in Thailand, and ensure that our sea resources are used in a sustainable way. Management must be ensure the equitable participation of the fisher, especially for the women, for the promoting co-management, activity to prevent the IUU fishing, and conservation must be designed to the fit for the local area. For some example for the freshwater fishery management, this is the one of the example for the inland fishery. From this regard, we also have exhibit these we call like aquatic animal food bank project. Nowadays, we have planned during 2017 to 2022. So for about 20 villages that should have these activity, this project. This project is aimed for the food security and reduce the poverty in Thailand, mainly in the north and northeast and central of the Thailand for the inland fishery. We also have the estimates, the project. First of all, we have the management committee. That means the member of the committee should be the local people, the leader of the people. And we also have some activity to clean up the pole. Is there like a public fishing pole in the area? And we have released the fish release, and also the maintain, and also they also have the patrol. And next, another activity is for the coastal. We also have to mention this for the marine fishery management. We have developed the project in accordance with the marine master plan of fishery management of Thailand. And also after that, we also have marine fishery management plan of Thailand. We also have promote on the provincial fishery management to strengthen existing co-management system and involve these fisher in any ICM. Okay, that is one thing. We have all of the community is 161, and also next is for the marine and coastal aquatic stock enhancement. We also have activity with artificial reef and marine cat bank. So, and also we also have the fish processing management. That means if like a husband can culture, then is the wife will be being that the material, raw material to prepare is like the processing, and the dry fish and package. So, and also we also have the national strategy framework that will say with how to be bring the SSF guidelines on that. Is like for the conservation management of the fishery resources, and also standard certificates of the fisher products, and reinforcement and optimization of the fish health management, that it will be support for the SSF guideline. And also that one, the government have promoted if the competition with the fisher who will be have the community. We also have award. It's one award that we gave in this year. We call is award on the public sector excellent award. We got at the Ban Nong Fat in Leon. That is one picture of the example. That is one of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for sharing this experience with us from Thailand. We're going to take questions afterwards. I'm now going to invite the next speaker, who's joining us from Vanuatu, Christopher Arthur, who's a Principal Fisheries Officer and currently also the acting manager for the Management and Policy Division with the Vanuatu Fisheries Department. And he's also going to share some examples of activities in support of coastal fisheries with us.
Good morning, everyone. I'll do a short presentation on what Vanuatu has been doing with SSF. So, an overview of my presentation, background information of Vanuatu, what Vanuatu has been doing in terms of SSF, the experiences and lessons learned, and out of those experiences, what we refocus and do to improve coastal fisheries. Well, what we think we should do to improve coastal fisheries. So, Vanuatu, for those who might not know where Vanuatu is, on the map, Vanuatu is on the eastern side of Australia, just below Papua New Guinea. Vanuatu is a small island country located in the southwest Pacific. It has 83 islands, has a population of 280,000, has a total land area of 12,000 square kilometers. Out of the 12,000 square kilometers, 448 kilometers is the square meter is the area, reef area and lagoon, basically where we define as the coastal fisheries. So compared to many other places around the globe, it's quite small. Therefore, we treat coastal fisheries very significant. Vanuatu is prone to natural disasters, particularly volcanoes, including earthquakes, tropical cyclones, and of course sea level rise, as it lies within the Pacific Rim of Fire, and as well as the path to tropical cyclones. In terms of SSF implementations, firstly, in terms of policies, we have a higher policy, what we call the National Sustainable Development Plan. This is the overarching policy for the government. We all do sector policies according to this plan. It's called the People's Plan as well, but it's known as the National Sustainable Development Plan, and it's from 2016 to 2030. Then we have the sectoral policies, and that is where we have the National Fisheries Sector Policy. And then below that is the coastal strategy, which we will launch at the end of this year. And thanks to Wellfish, ANCOS, and Australian government implementing a project known as Pathways that assisted us to develop this policy. After those higher policies, we come down to each coastal fisheries, we have management plans, what we call management plans, and it's provided under the Fisheries Act to have management plans for each coastal fisheries. Some of the coastal fisheries that we have management plans of are tuna, sea cucumber, fat, deep bottom snapper, coconut crab, Oblivious lato, and the aquarium trade. Regulations are therefore developed in accordance with these policies. In terms of the SSF activities, we have we implementing what is known as community-based or coastal, or sometimes known as fisheries, coastal fisheries management or resource management. They all come with different acronyms, different names, but they all have the same outputs. It's all to do with coastal fisheries management. So some of the projects that are helping us in country, there are 4 main projects. They are highlighted here, the pathways, as I've mentioned earlier. Rest of the Sea, it's a China project funded by the government of Japan. rescue, and what we call the FICA, it's UNDP funded. Now, coastal fisheries for Vanuatu, I'm sure happens elsewhere, is one that governments put limited resources, therefore you see projects coming in to assist us, especially to implement coastal fisheries, because tuna is seem more important than coastal fisheries to us. Some of the sustainable livelihood activities include FAD program, small scale fishing, value addition, cold chain, and fish preservation activities, and of course aquaculture. So some of the experiences and lessons learned, despite the development of policies that we have and the implementation of SSF guidelines, coastal fisheries continue to deplete and people continue to be unhealthy. The reality is 2.8 million, or Pacific owns 2.8 million metric tons of tuna, valued at 4 billion USD annually. But still Pacific is in the top 10 NCT countries, because all the fish are exported and used elsewhere, out of the Pacific. So coastal fisheries being the food basket of people of Pacific, that's Vanuatu. Pacific has been, it has been impacted a lot with increase in population and the climate change factors, as I've highlighted in my earlier slide. So studies have predicted that in 12 years' time, Pacific would need 150 tons of fish to feed its people. Where will the fish come from? The question is, will improving SSF guidelines be the future for Pacific or for Vanuatu? The refocus, re-strengthening of SSF, focus into coastal fisheries data collection is one hope Vanuatu is looking into, and it's one hope that Vanuatu will do in order to improve the SSF. Coastal fisheries are already limited. Proper utilization of limited resources is required. Proper utilization of resources will only be possible if there is adequate and available data to make smart decisions. Therefore, it brings us to one innovative activity that we have done, and it's called the Tail Blast. Thanks to SPC, the CI, and the ADP for the funding, and SPC for co-implementing this with us. So what is TAILS? TAILS is an app designed for coastal pelagic data. The TAILS database has over 6,000 fields of coastal marine species. How does it work? It is an app installed into tablets on any hardware that have Android. Tablets are given out to monitors and for collecting data. Small incentives are given to the communities or the resource monitors to buy data, and they use that data to collect the information and then send it. Once they send, we receive automatically at the office, and SPC receive it directly from the database. In cases where there are no internet access, the information are stored on cloud, and once data is available, then it could be sent out. So what does TAILS collect? TAILS collect the catch data information from fishers, fish buyers, sellers, gears, type of gears used, and also market data. So the Vanuatu's TAILS plus data collecting mechanism collects even as far as reef cleaning. Women collecting resources from reef cleaning, the database collects all that information. Basically, this is a study conducted along with whalefish to test whether or not people are eating the fish that are catching, or they're basically selling the fish. Because the contribution of food security to is important. At the moment, we're implementing this at 19 sites. These are some of the resource data. This is, you'll have a view of this later. It's a report from 2017 to 2018. This is for the first time we have been collecting close to real-time coastal fisheries data. Another innovative SSF we did is on fats. This is the Fatuika fat. So the Fatuika fat is a low-cost developed fat that could be developed by communities, constructed by communities, and then deployed. We used to do fats that are expensive and use bigger vessels, but now, through the help of JICA project, we did a special design fat called the Fatuika fat. So the picture speaks for itself, and yeah, the explanations are. So it's resilient, it's proven to survive a category 5 cyclone, and easily constructed, as I've said. So these are the pictures of some of the communities deploying this Fatuika fat. And this is a whole description of the Fatuika fat. I'm running out of time. You can have a look at this later. So, thanks have been capturing some fat data, but Vanuatu is looking further into how fat data could be helpful in terms of decision making. So we're looking into, we're exploring further into how to strengthen fat data collection system to help us improve our fat fishing. So, a contribution of data in improving SSF. So, in there, I put down some points. Empower community in engaging resource management, therefore decision making. In Vanuatu, politicians do the decision making. And when they don't have proper data, it's very hard to allocate resources to coastal fisheries. So therefore, we believe if we strengthen our coastal fisheries, it will give us hope that politicians and decision makers will give us adequate resources to strengthen coastal fisheries. Engaging and involvement in making optimum use of the limited resource we have in following sustainable livelihood activities. One, the small-scale value addition chain and food preservation methods, and improving fat with updated data collected and use of ICT. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of my presentation. And thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing some very concrete examples, including the involvement of fishers in data collection. The next presenter is Mr. El Hadji Abdullah Kuben from the Department of Fisheries in the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Economy in Senegal. He will speak in French, but the slides of his presentation will be in English, so I will invite you to please make an effort to follow the slides, the written part of it, and I will try to summarize a few key points of this presentation also afterwards. À vous la parole quand vous êtes prêts.
Merci beaucoup. Bonjour tout le monde. Je voudrais effectivement, c'est quelques minutes qu'on sont offertes pour faire effectivement une présentation sur le processus de mise en œuvre des directives volontaires pour une pêche artisanale durable au Sénégal. Mais donc, je voudrais avant tout, très rapidement, vous présenter quelques caractéristiques de la pêche artisanale au Sénégal. Comme vous voyez sur la carte, le Sénégal se trouve à l'extrême, l'ouest africain, et nous sommes limités à l'ouest par l'océan Atlantique. Nous avons 718 km de côte, deux segments, la pêche artisanale et la pêche industrielle. Concernant les embarcations, nous avons 19,9 pirogues, embarcations artisanales, et 120 embarcations industrielles qui fait un total de 19 129. La production annuelle est de 430 667 tonnes, dont les 2 tiers sont assurés par la pêche artisanale. Pour une valeur commerciale estimée à 155 milliards de francs CFA, la contribution au produit intérieur brut est de 3,2%. Ça, ce sont les rapports, selon le rapport de l'Agence nationale pour le développement des statistiques du Sénégal en 2016. Et la consommation per capita est de 29 kg par habitant par an. Concernant le processus, bon, voilà, d'abord, il s'agit d'un partage des directives. Ensuite, la mise en place du dispositif de pilotage. Enfin, l'élaboration d'un plan d'action national. Comment permettre d'abord l'organisation d'un atelier national pour échanger sur les directives, réfléchir sur le développement d'un plan d'action. Ensuite, la création et l'installation d'un comité national consultatif de 7 membres pour la mise en œuvre et le suivi des directives. Enfin, l'élaboration d'un plan d'action national pour contribuer au renforcement de la sécurité alimentaire, à la croissance économique et au développement local. Le cadre de travail et de rencontres sous forme d'ateliers, des réunions, l'approche participative et utilisée durant tout le processus. Il faut dire ici que ce que nous faisons, effectivement, c'est on implique les parties prenantes qui sont concernées dans le processus. Parce que les directives ne sont pas taillées sur mesure pour une seule entité seulement, mais c'est la partie de toutes les parties prenantes. S'agissant du premier point, le partage des directives, comment nous avons procédé? Nous avons procédé par l'organisation d'un atelier national de sensibilisation et réflexion des directives. Cet atelier a été organisé par l'administration à travers la direction des pêches maritimes, en collaboration avec la CAVA, dont le président est ici dans la salle. Et le CONIPAS, c'est une organisation nationale. Cet atelier a réuni 111 participants, dont 3 représentants de la FAO, 30 professionnels, pêcheurs, mareyeurs et transformateurs, 15 cadres de l'administration et d'agence, 3 de la société civile, 20 médias nationaux et régionaux. Donc là, cet atelier a reçu la participation de 20 femmes. Nous avons, durant cet atelier, procédé à l'identification des domaines urgents en lien avec les directives comme élément de base pour l'élaboration du plan d'action. Bon, voilà les exemples. Au total, nous avons identifié 15 domaines. Voilà quel exemple de domaine. Donc là, voilà par exemple la pirogue en bois pour son remplacement en pirogue plus adaptée, c'est-à-dire pirogue en fibre. La vulgarisation des directives volontaires pour une pêche artisanale durable en langue nationale. L'équité dans les organisations professionnelles. Pour procéder que cela, nous avons donc fixé 15. Dans cet atelier, nous avons procédé à la distribution des documents et des directives pour permettre aux participants de mieux caler les domaines et les cibler avec les ateliers directives. Et nous avons distribué donc 100 brochures, 50 brochures simplifiées et 50 brochures complètes publiées par la FAO. S'agissant du deuxième point, la mise en place du dispositif de pilotage, c'est quoi? C'est la création et l'installation d'un comité national consultatif pour la mise en œuvre et le suivi des directives. Bon, les étapes étant l'identification des parties prenantes et la définition du nombre de membres du comité. L'installation et la définition de la mission et du mandat du comité. La structuration du comité, mais également la réflexion sur la mise en place d'une plateforme nationale pour le suivi de la mise en œuvre des directives. Au total, on compte nous avons créé une comité de 7 membres avec l'administration des pêches, à travers la direction des pêches maritimes, qui pilote et qui assure le secrétariat. Il y a aussi le Conseil national interprofessionnel de la pêche au Sénégal, le réseau des conseils locaux de pêche artisanale, le réseau des aquaculteurs, le réseau des femmes de la pêche artisanale au Sénégal, l'association pour le développement de la pêche artisanale. Le comité est ici structuré avec comme président le directeur des pêches maritimes, comme secrétaire du bureau chargé de l'organisation professionnelle de la direction des pêches, moi-même. Et nous avons créé 2 sous-comités. Un sous-comité de coordination et de suivi de la mise en œuvre des directives, avec le CONIPAS, l'ADEPA, la direction des pêches, le CONIPAS comme coordinateur, un sous-comité de réflexion et d'orientation. Le réseau des CLPA, le RFPAS, le réseau des aquaculteurs, la cellule d'études de planification avec un coordinateur du réseau des CLPA. S'agissant maintenant de la création de la plateforme nationale pour le suivi de la mise en œuvre des directives, les étapes sont la réflexion sur la mise en place de la plateforme, l'établissement de la liste des parties prenantes de la plateforme, la préparation de l'arrêté ministériel institutionnalisant la plateforme, la structuration des organes de la plateforme, mais également l'élaboration des textes de règlement intérieur de fonctionnement de la plateforme. Ce qu'il faut dire ici, c'est que donc, les deux actions sont déjà réalisées, mais ce qui est en rouge, c'est ça qui est en cours. Maintenant, les étapes de l'élaboration du plan d'action. Les étapes de l'élaboration du plan d'action sont la définition des éléments du plan d'action en lien avec les directives et la définition des axes stratégiques. L'élaboration du draft et après le réunion de partage de la première module pour harmonisation, orientation et le cadrage, et ensuite une deuxième réunion d'examen du plan d'action. Nous en sommes aux premières étapes, c'est-à-dire que la définition des éléments du plan d'action en lien avec les directives. Et pour cela, nous avons travaillé à une concordance entre les besoins exprimés, c'est-à-dire que lors de l'atelier de partage, et les calés avec les directives. Après analyse, donc les besoins exprimés se retrouvent dans 5 domaines d'intérêt que vous voyez ici. Les domaines d'intérêt, donc maintenant avec la correspondance dans les directives, dans les directives, il varie de 5 dans les paragraphes 5 à 13. Maintenant, le travail, c'est que nous demandons maintenant à nos 2 comités qui sont ici de finir le plan d'action en mettant les échéances et le budget. Ce sera soumis maintenant après avoir budgétisé, ils vont soumettre au comité qui va soumettre maintenant à la plateforme pour validation et approbation. Nous comptons, donc sera approuvé. Nous comptons d'ici le mois de décembre, vers la deuxième quinzaine du mois de décembre, vers le 18-19, financer tout le travail, le plan d'action, et ensuite budgétiser, et il restera que la mise en œuvre pour le financement. Je vous remercie de votre attention.
Merci quand même pour la présentation. Yeah, we have an issue with languages here in the conference, but I think it's important to also allow those who are not speaking English to make a contribution to this conference. And we hope that with this compromise of having the slides in English, you were able at least to follow in the big picture of what is happening in Senegal in terms of establishing this process for the development of the National Plan of Action for the implementation of small-scale fisheries guidelines. So this process has started earlier this year. A roadmap has been set up in terms of identifying the stakeholders, identifying the priorities, establishing the related committees to lead this process. And a draft plan has now been elaborated. So the phase where they are now in Senegal with this is in a stakeholder consultation validation process of the draft national plan that has been identified so far. And the committee is now tasked to develop a more detailed plan with an attached budget for further approval and institutionalization in the ministry itself. So we will have a chance later to ask questions in more detail if you wish. I would now like to move on to the next speaker, Mr. Harry Cristianto from the Department of Fisheries Research Management from Indonesia, to also share experiences from his country.
Good morning, yes, Congress participant. At this second opportunity, I will extend information which I had selected development on securing small-scale fisheries. But before I go further to my presentation, allow me to say that the collaboration and support is essential in securing small-scale fisheries. For this guideline, back in 2015, Indonesia, in collaboration with the FAO, had an opportunity to support meeting toward implementation of the SSF guideline. And in the following time, we also received support and having collaboration in relation to this guideline, where the example you can see on the screen, there's some work that's related to the SSF guideline. Back in Indonesia, the effort to improve capacity of the small-scale fisheries can be back 3 years ago. Where from the literature, I found that one of the monumental activity is a gradual motorization back in 80s. In regional, another monumental moment take place when in 2016, a new law named Protection and Empowerment of Fishermen, Fish Farmer and Shark Farmer is emerged. Clearly from its name, the law is intended to provide protection and empowerment, but it described that the protection is any effort to support livelihood sustainability, while the empowerment is described as any effort to improve livelihood capacity of those 3 actors. The law itself recognized 4 different types of fishermen, which mostly fall into small scale. There are small fisher, traditional fisher, fisher labor, and fisher owner. But the strong articulation is for the small fisher. From the screen, you can see that the majority of the Indonesian small fisher are in their productive age, and when it's classified into the use of the engine board, outboard engine board, or with engine board, the number are almost evenly distributed. You also can see that the majority operate within a one-day fishing, and their profession is self-capital, self-reliant capital. For this last, I suspect that it is due to the low education level among fishermen. With regard to the guideline on the securing a small-scale fishery, what I can present to you is a partial identification of the program activities which correlate to the implementation of the securing small-scale fisheries guideline. I put it into 6 categorization, which in the responsible government of tenure, sustainable resource management, social development, employment and decent work, value chain, post-harvest and trade, policy coherence, institutional cooperation and collaboration, information, research and communication, and lastly, capacity building. In the field of the responsible government of tenures, among the activity is promotion and facilitation of the zonation plan for coastal and small island, which we promote to local government. And within this zonation, specific spatial allocation, which include public using ground and traditional area, can be determined during the process. But in the field of the sustainable resource management, we are currently having regulation. Among other, we are currently having regulation on migrating fishing. This regulation basically apply for the boat less than 30 gross ton. But this regulation is often used to regulate freely fishing ground of small scale. I may forget to mention that based on our fisheries law, the small fishers are freely fishing except in a conservation area. In the field of the social development, employment and decent work, we continue our program on fisherman land certification ownership, improve the fisherman ID card program, and implement fisherman insurance program. Those three I would elaborate further in this presentation, and we are also recently passing regulation on fisher working agreement. In the field of value chain, post-harvest and trade, there are various capacity improvement activities, such as various training on post-harvest product and supporting in product in some of the exhibition, local exhibition. While in the field of the policy coherence and institutional cooperation, last year we are successfully connecting sector infrastructure between the infrastructure that is built by the Ministry of the Public Infrastructure, and we are connected with our plan in developing fishing port. There is two main activities there: building road to have access to the fishing port, and housing for the small-scale fisher, usually around the fishing port. Continue my presentation, I would, in the field of the information and research communication, possibly expect that we have provided fishermen with the, I call it ground prediction map, which we provide it on a daily basis. It's free. What they need to do is to download it, or if they are not having internet connection, they can go to the fishing port and they can see the printed map on the information center in a fishing port. And to the capacity building, it's some activity like training on engine repair, sailing certification, handling or cloth, sort of the activity like that. Next, I would introduce you to the Fisherman ID Cards program. This initial idea of this came from the lack of information that we call by name, by address. So with this information, we have a solid basis and believe that any support and facilitation that's provided by the government would be received by the right result. In this 4-year implementation, the figure still less than 50% of the figure of total of fishermen. But this year, it is also a moment that we migrate from the previous fisherman ID card to the second generation ID card, which we expand into the fish farmer, into the shark farmer, and there is also card can be connected to the account of the fisherman. And so, okay, there is also, you can figure the fisher group that we established up to this time, 17, almost 18,000 independent collective group of fishers. And secondly, I would go to the land certification program where we start in 2008 and nowadays it's 103,000 certificate which we issue, and basically this is take 2 years process. And this is really it's really help the fishermen because we are intended to increase the capacity of the capital capacity of the fisher, so they can access credit from the bank. And I think it's last, the insurance program for fishermen. This is just designed in 2006 and implemented in 2006. The figure is almost 500,000 every year, and this is one-time facilitation. So every fisher, they only can have one time. Next year, they cannot. What is the additional benefit that we have is that we promote awareness of the insurance company. Before 2016, there is no insurance scheme for the fisher, but nowadays they have. So after they have the first one-time facilitation from the government, they need to pay by their own to continue the insurance. And lastly, before I close my presentation, the successful program that we have, I think, lies within 3 components. First is that the participation from the fisher, and then we have a part of the local government. Without active role participation of the local government, we will not succeed. For ourselves, it's a clarity of the program and the clear mechanism for the program. Thank you very much for your attention. I do hope my presentation will be useful for you.
Thank you very much, Harry, for this interesting presentation. And I would now like to invite the last speaker from Tanzania, Lilian Imbengwe from the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries, who's going to share experiences about the processes that are taking place now in relation to the implementation of the guidelines in her country. Lilian?
Thank you, Nicole, for the brief introduction. Good morning, everyone. A few weeks ago, I was reading an article of Spain titled Walking the Talk and Implementing the SSF guideline. One particular thing that caught my attention was his doubt if the country can follow up in fact on what they have agreed in the international arena. Today I'm here to clear his doubt. My presentation in relation to my country will show that states can really walk the talk by implementing on what they have endorsed. I will first briefly introduce my country and the fisheries that we are working on. Tanzania is situated in East Africa. It is covered by 3 largest inland lakes in Africa, of course sharing with the other neighboring country. We have a coastline of more than 1,000 kilometers along the southwestern Indian Ocean. The country has diverse coastal marine and inland environments, including the mangrove forest, coral reefs, and tidal flats and muddy flats, which provide habitats for various types of species. The country ranks in the top 10 countries in the world in terms of capture fisheries, with an average annual fish production of more than 360,000 metric tons of fish. Out of this, 98% is coming from the small-scale fisheries, and this marks that small-scale fisheries is very important in my country. Small-scale fisheries has a lot of significant importance It is a source of revenue collection from taxes, from licensing, and other import tariffs. We collect foreign exchange from exports of our fish and fishery products. It has a social and cultural significance in fishing communities. It provides food security and nutrition to the majority of people in my country, and it contributes to income generation and provide employment to majority of people. Despite of this economic importance, the fishery it has challenges, just to mention a few. It is open access in nature. It has a high post-harvest loss in various fish, especially the small sardines. It has challenged by illegal fishing practices and methods and trade. We have inadequate human and financial resources to implement various activities at local level. There is an insufficient scientific information on fisheries to implement and to enforce law. We have inadequate routine data collection, and our fishers community, they lack finance and credit facilities. Those are just cross-sectional pictures for the type of fishery that we are working on. It ranges, we have a non-mechanized to a mechanized one. In my country, we have legal and forest instruments for territorial and inland fishery. This includes Fisheries Regulation of 2009, Fisheries Act of 2002, National Fisheries Policy, and we have Deep Sea Fishing Act, which govern the EEZ and high sea fish stocks. We have other management strategies. We have formulated management plans for specific fisheries in the marine. We have octopus, tuna, small pelagic, and prawns. We have 21 monitoring, control, and surveillance offices in our border areas to enforce law and control the exports. We have temporal crossing season for some species, like octopus and prawns. As we are sharing regional lakes, we have a regional plan of action for Lake Victoria and Lake Tanganyika. And we have developed guidelines for mariculture and collaborative fisheries management for managing fisheries at the local level. Taking you through the implementation initiatives in my country, as you all are aware that in 2008 to 2004, there are a lot of consultation and technical regional activity have been taking place in my country. Some of the representatives was part of this consultation technical regional. At national level, we had the first consultation workshop that was organized by MEDO to draw some ideas into the inclusion of the SSF guideline. And after the endorsement of SSF guideline, at regional level, there are two workshops that were convened. One was for East African countries. That was it was prepared by African Union, and the other one was the Southern African and Indian Ocean. And these two workshops, they deliberated a lot of articles that they have to be implemented at national level. Following this deliberation, at national level, we had two consultation workshops. One was convened in Marine by the CSO called the Mabao Network, and another one, the second, this was prepared by EMEDO in collaboration with the ministry. And one of the deliberation of these two workshops was that the government to coordinate and collaborate with CSOs to implement the SSF guideline through developing proposals for funding, for seeking funding. Through these initiatives, early in 2017, the government, in collaboration with the MEDO, we developed a proposal, and in November, it was signed between the FAO and the ministry. This project, it has two components: to develop national plan of action and support women fish workers and small-scale fisheries to be organized. The National Plan of Action has a range of activities, that is to develop national team, to conduct a study on policy and regulatory framework, to create awareness, to conduct consultative meetings, and to document the process, and to produce and distribute promotional materials. Under the formation of National Women Network, the activity that we agreed is to map the women organization and the non-sector actors to establish fisheries gender desk at the ministry and to facilitate the formation of the National Small-Scale Fisheries Network. Where are we now? We have developed a national team with a range of stakeholders. We have the academia, we have researchers, local government officers, the central government, fishers, BNUs, they are all represented. And I'm happy here, we have two of them. We have included Rukanga and Dr. Onyango from the University of Dar es Salaam. And we had an inception workshop, and this, we developed a roadmap, and there was a vegetative workshop to create awareness to CSOs, and we also conducted an awareness raising and consultation workshops for researchers and at local level. And currently we are mapping women organizations. Some members of NTT are in the field now. We have two studies, characterization of small-scale fisheries in their country and the mapping. So these studies are going on now as I'm talking. And we have printed out t-shirts, and we have brochures, and we have a Facebook page, and I would like you to welcome and follow our page so that you can follow the process and updates what we are working on. To summarize the role of the government, I have put them into 4 thematic themes under capacity enhancement, reporting and monitoring, coordination and collaboration, like what we did, because the initiatives for implementing the SSF guideline was pioneered by the 2 CSO in our country. But the government then took the move to coordinate, and we are now working with the 2 CSO and other actors. Also, another role is for government for political commitment, because we need political commitment to advance the activities and allocation of funds into the government for the implementation. And the way forward, we have to draft the National Plan of Action, drawing from the consultation meet that we have convened and the studies that are undergoing. And after drafting, we will hold a consultation workshop for validation and endorsement of the National Plan of Action, and this will be followed by the launching event. And thereafter, after launching the NAPOA, we have to solicit funds for implementing the activities that will be prioritized in the National Plan of Action. And these are just the pictures, cross-section of pictures for the mapping activity that is and the characterization study that is going on. And you can see Dr. Onyango there was creating awareness and trying to do some consultation to researchers and the academia that we did NTT convene this meeting in September. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lilian, for this. With this, we have concluded the presentation from our speakers, and I think we had some nice examples from the different countries in the world, from different regions, different levels of implementation processes that have been started, activities in support of small-scale fisheries, be it in relation to the legal, regulatory, policy framework, in relation to institutions which are an expression of this shift in governance by having a more inclusive approach from the beginning, bringing in different stakeholders into these processes, in particular small-scale fisheries actors, but also the science community, and also specific actions where we saw examples of. We don't have much time, but I would like to take the opportunity to take some questions from the floor. Are there any? Yes, I see one. Is there a microphone in the room that can use? Thank you. Please present yourself and identify who you would like to have an answer from. First of all.
Good morning. Thank you so much to give me an opportunity to be here. My name is Mursiati. I come from Indonesia. I work with local NGOs, call it Forkani. I work with Blue Ventura, with local community to managing their octopus fisheries. I might ask to our government there, Mr. Han. According to our regulation, what you explained before, it's we register all officers. We providing ID card. We providing insurance, but unfortunately, it's only for men, not for men fisher. We work with a woman octopus fisher, seaweed farming. It's not easy to claim that they are fishers. Until now, we're struggling with that. So maybe we need a new policy to govern women fishers, recognize them as a part of our fisher. The second thing is we work with small-scale fisheries. Yeah, we do capacity building. We have a lot of scam for managing resources. We have temporary closure for octopus, but small-scale fisheries depending on the market. Do our government establish a new policy to influence the market? Let's say that increasing the export capacity building for the community, but our activity for fishing depending on our buyer. When our buyers say that we need more and more fish, we have to go fishing even a small fish. So let's build a new policy that ensure that we will have sustainability fisheries for our future, so we can survive with our resources. Thank you so much. Terima kasih.
Thank you. Yeah, this was in a way more of a statement. I would like to take another comment. I saw here First row, yes. Yes.
Buenos días, mi nombre es David Chacón, pescador artesanal de Costa Rica.
David Chacón, fisher from Costa Rica.
Ok, vamos a ver. Voy a hablar como pescador y mi sentimiento de las directrices y de cómo lo percibimos como pescadores, no como técnicos, sino como políticos.
So I would like to talk how we feel from the fisher perspective about how the guidelines have been implemented in some cases as a fisher's view.
En el 2014, cuando se aprobaron las directrices en Roma, en junio, yo no tuve miedo de que no se aprobaran. Mi pregunta era, ¿cómo las implementamos en nuestros países?
When the guidelines were approved in 2014 as a fisher, I was not afraid that they would be approved. I was afraid in how the guidelines would going to be implemented in the field.
En este momento voy a poner a Costa Rica como referencia de lo que hemos avanzado un poquito en las directrices y en la implementación a nivel país.
So in the case of Costa Rica.
Pero observando un poquito y viéndolo un poquito a nivel mundial, creo que muchos pescadores ni siquiera conocen el término de las directrices para asegurar la pesca a pequeña escala.
But looking what is really happening, I think that most of the fishers still don't even know what the guidelines really mean.
Y peor aún, cuando llegamos a las instancias de gobierno, nos damos cuenta que el mismo gobierno, en algunos departamentos que les corresponde la implementación, desconocen de las directrices también a nivel de los países.
And sometimes we fishers go to the governments and we see that they don't know what the guidelines are all about.
Creo que este congreso es un buen momento para que hagamos una reflexión y le pido a los personeros de FAO que hagamos un doble esfuerzo para que realmente los pescadores puedan asimilar el concepto y podamos bajar ese documento tan técnico que está y lo llevemos a versiones más populares, más de idioma pescador.
So it is a real need to bring these issues to the fishers so they can actually know what the guidelines are all about, and then we can work with the governments.
Porque en ese momento las directrices está la herramienta, pero el problema es cómo lo implementamos, cómo hacemos valer este mecanismo para hacer una mejor pesca sostenible en el mundo y en nuestros países.
So the tool is there, but the question in how to implement it is still there.
Nos encontramos muchas barreras en el mundo y quizás, por ejemplo, en este congreso, una barrera para mí como pescador artesanal precisamente es el idioma, donde no puedo comunicarme y no puedo transmitir a veces mis sentimientos a las personas que yo quiero poder expresarlo.
So we fishers still feel that in a congress like this one, an issue as language can be an obstacle to really communicate what we are feeling.
Este es un sentimiento de un pescador artesanal simplemente. Gracias.
This is a fisher's feeling. Thank you.
Thank you. Point well taken. There was another question. I see you're already lined up at the microphone. Please, I think we can take two more with the indulgence of Ratana. She's saying one. So please keep it short.
Okay. First, I want to congratulate the experiences, the examples that you just showed, because are really inspiring. I mean, it gives me hope that it's possible to really implement the guidelines. But one of the obstacles that I have found in my country, Colombia, is the political will and the political compromise to really implement the small-scale fisheries. And as the fishermen just expressed, they have some obstacles, but from the academia, as a scientist, we have the obstacles of the political commitment. So I would like to hear what are your advices, how to go around this obstacle too. Thank you.
I think this is an important question, so maybe we can have time for a short answer. Somebody from the panel would like to share experiences about how to build political will. Yes, Indonesia?
So I will try to not only respond, but just view this, since I mentioned in my presentation that in 2016, just a year, less than a year after the 2015 SSF campaign meeting, a new law is coming for the empowerment and protection of the small fish farmer and salt farmer. It is a long process, and this is usually high-level official approach. In case of the Indonesia, that we need to go many times to the House of the Representative to bring the idea of the importance of the small-scale fisheries, and series of meeting and visiting, and at the end of the time, the drafting process is also take years, and there is also a kind of negotiation. Say that we think that small-scale fishermen at this gross tonnage size, while the politicians say no, that is too small, or probably that is too big. There's also a certain negotiation, talk, negotiation, meeting, and lastly, drafting. And within the drafting itself, there is a meeting. So finally, in 2000, we have that. So it cannot be. There is no one single recipe on how to bring that. But definitely, there is a lot of talk and meeting and drafting. I think this one can be. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this just summed it nicely up. That change needs time and the importance of process. And I think what we have seen here is, in fact, that how it also takes a collaboration of the different actors to actually move things forward. With this, Ratana's looking at me. I know there are more questions in the room, and we have to conclude the session because I don't want to take our time on another question. Okay, I'm allowed to take one more. There you go. One more, please.
Saya ada di Madagaskar. Mahliana anai di asuransi penerbangan ada di Indonesia.
Yeah, he's Irman from Madagascar, and he said that in Madagascar, fishermen are facing some issues, like when they're going to fishing, they can have issues with their boats, they can be broken, or some of them can face thief when there is, for example, bad weather. So he is interested to your talk about insurance, like how does it work, how much should the fishers pay for a year, and what are their benefits in terms of insurance? Thank you.
Mereka misi ritram afufu isang tahun na an.
Yeah, I explained that already. Thank you.
So a very specific question on the insurance system. Yeah, which probably needs a bit more time of explaining. Are we allowed? Or we leave it to an individual follow-up? Yeah. I'm asked to please invite you to seek the speakers to get some of these more detailed information, because I think that there was a lot of rich information that would need more explanation in detail, how this insurance schemes work, how some of the other mechanisms work. Please take advantage of the remaining days of the conference to engage with the policymakers, and also remember that even within governments, small-scale fisheries colleagues are often marginalized. So it is really about also helping them within the fisheries administration to build the momentum and the attention that small-scale fisheries deserves as an area also for policy attention and investments. With this, I thank you, and I invite you to have a coffee break and to come back to the plenary at 10:30, please. Thank you.